The Royals Review Pod is back, and I'm your host, Dan Worth, joined by Jimmy. 2 games since our last podcast. We've got the defeat to Huddersfield 2-0 at home, and then the trip to Portsmouth in the Carabao Cup, which we came away with our first win of the season, 2-1 at Fratton Park. Let's start with the Huddersfield defeat, Jim. Obviously, the two of us went down there to the Select Car Leasing for the first time this season. We were kind of hoping to see a lot of improvements in the fan experience. We can probably touch on that, to be fair. Did you feel like the fan experience at the Select Car Leasing Stadium had improved after Rob Coig said that it would this season?
Not that I noticed. It looked exactly the same as it was last season, to be honest, albeit a few additional beers, which unfortunately were flat when we ordered them, weren't they? So, work to be done for sure, but, it's early days.
Yeah, I mean, quite disappointing, the turnout, I think, generally. I appreciate it was obviously on TV and it was a 12:30 kickoff, which neither of which are ideal. It's in the summer holidays, so people might be away and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think it was even up on last season's opening day, so I think that's a slightly disappointing. But yeah, I agree. I don't think it was, even if it was better, it definitely wasn't significantly better. The Cruz Campo introduction that I was very excited for fell flat because the beer was flat. So yeah, room for improvement. I think it will obviously help when Reading start to win games, which I hope they do pretty soon. That'll probably increase the amount of people there and the financial options for the club, so they'll want to improve it if the money is there to be made. Anyway, let's look a little bit into the actual game then. Obviously, Reading were beaten 2-0.
Yep.
Didn't create loads going forward, if we're honest. I guess
let's
just
talk about that. I guess sort of neither team. I don't know about you, but I felt that neither team was really sort of in control of the game at all.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty well matched up until the opener. 2 defensive mistakes, which led to a corner on both occasions, and ultimately 2 goals for Huddersfield. I think after they got their first goal, I can't remember the exact minute, but it was, I'm going to say, something around the 75th minute. I think that just sort of killed the game, really. I don't think anyone particularly had much confidence of going and grabbing an equaliser. I think a game to forget. I mean, for sure, they'll be one of the better teams in the league, if not the strongest. But it was disappointing to lose our opening home game.
Yeah, I agree. And I said last week, I know you were a little bit more optimistic than me. I actually predicted the 2-0 defeat. I thought this is a game where we will probably be quite lucky to get something out of. And I think that showed. We didn't get any luck. No. And it panned out kind of as we'd expected. Huddersfield took their chances and we didn't really have any to take, but we just didn't. So
agreed.
I think that there's a couple of chances. I know Byrne had a header where he missed the target, which is inexcusable really from that distance. And a couple of half chances, like Kyrie had that poke from just inside the box, which to be honest, it went well wide. It's not even really a proper chance.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably the biggest disappointment for me from Reading's point of view. We created 0.8 XG, so not even a goal. So you can't really suggest that we were hard done by on the attacking front. I guess Huddersfield created 1. So I think 2-0 probably does flatter them a little bit. I don't think they were significantly better than us on the day. I thought it was in the balance really, but as I say, they just had that quality to finish their chances, and we just didn't.
We just didn't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I guess what I picked up at defence obviously caught out yet again, which is a bit unfortunate. I feel like Burns has not had the luckiest start to his Reading career. I think he's had sort of made 3 errors, which have unfortunately led to 3 goals. But yeah, I mean, on top of that, there was just a general lack in creativity. And then the impact needed from the late subs was just, it wasn't there, was it really?
No, not at all. Not at all. Well, let's have a little look at the tactics then, because I think that follows on from your Burns point quite nicely. Where do you think the tactics went wrong? How much do you think the result is down to Noel Hunt, or how much is it down to the players?
I mean, I think we've already sort of touched on it. I just think there was a general lack in creativity. We weren't. I know you had the XG stat. Yeah, I just don't think we were creating anywhere near enough. I feel like Omani's not started the best. Might be lacking a little bit of confidence as well. So it just never really seemed like we were going to score. Whether it's the striker having a chance or even the striker getting a chance, it was just it just didn't look like it was going to happen, did it?
No, not at all. I mean, the two tactical things that I picked up on, which aren't the creativity. I'll touch upon the creativity again probably before we move on from this. But is Reading playing a high line with centre back pairing of Stickland and Burns seems. I can't think of another word other than suicidal. Like neither of those are blessed with pace, and they're going to get caught out. There's going to be strikers that will be much quicker than them. They'll just get caught out. They can't do that. And it kind of feels, and I think we actually spoke about this on the way to the car after the game. As much as Burns has been all right so far, he seems a completely wrong player that we should have brought in if Hunt is insistent on playing a high line because. Well, he's just not quick. He's not the most agile defender, and yeah, I think that could cause us loads of problems if that doesn't get addressed.
Yeah, I agree, and that's on Hunt. I know we mentioned this last week because obviously there was the 2 goals that Lincoln. Sorry, 2 weeks ago, 2 goals that Lincoln scored were from balls straight over the top, catching out that high line. So yeah, I mean that's on Hunt really to sort out if he thinks that they're good enough to sort of play a high line and quick enough, then that's his decision to make. But yeah, from what I've seen in both matches, both league matches anyway, yeah, playing a high line it's led to 3 goals at least. So
Yeah, I agree. And then just to touch back upon the creativity side of things, Reading have the lowest XG in League One at the moment. It's just over 1 goal. That needs to change. Like that, if that keeps going the way we are, we're not going to make much improvement. And we obviously haven't come on to the Portsmouth game yet, but that does go away of showing some of the things we can do to improve. But we haven't created anything in the first 2 games in the league so far, which is quite a big worry. And it also kind of begs the question again as to why we've taken so long to make the signings we've made. Obviously, Cohig and Trosclair were making jokes about strikers again on Saturday, which is, hilarious. But maybe they should actually just get one in because currently we're not creating anything and we're playing football that just doesn't suit Omani. Again, just lumping it forward more often than we should, I'd argue. So, yeah, I think there's still a lot to be solved there going forward. And, yeah, we need to be more creative, definitely, if we're going to start picking up some points.
For sure, yeah.
I mean, I agree.
No. I mean, it's clear to see, really. I'm sure everyone has got a similar viewpoint on it. I guess just going back to the striker transfer target, the only thing that I can really assume is they're going for a player that is either, it's hard to get across the line, which is annoying because we need a striker ASAP. But, if it's a real marquee signing, I'm sure everyone will forget about the slight delays that we're having now, and a month or so time, that'll be a thing of the past. Or a player that is, really highly rated at a club, whether that's in England or abroad. And, those sorts of deals do end up going through closer to deadline day when all the options are sort of on the table and they've got a little bit more understanding and direction on what is like a realistic destination for the player. So yeah, I'm quite optimistic. I still think there's going to be a bunch of signings. I mean, we've already we've got quite a lot of players that we're linked with that are in talks. Matt Ritchie, obviously. So yeah, I think, I mean, there's supposed to meet. I mean, we're filming this at 3 p.m. on Friday. they did say that there's going to be a signing before Saturday, hopefully. So, I'm hoping perhaps by the time that this pod's been uploaded, we might have another player in the door. But yeah, like I said, I'm still pretty optimistic that we'll have a decent transfer window and there's more activity on the horizon.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Well, I can move away now from the negative part of this show and we can talk about the positive part, which is Reading's trip to Fratton Park on Tuesday and coming away with a 2-1 win in the first round of the Carabao Cup. I mean, it's chalk and cheese really from the Tuesday performance and the league performances, because I thought Reading were excellent. I thought excellent across the board.
Yeah,
I thought there were so many strong individual performances, but also as a team, I thought the team fought together and they seemed for the first time this season to me like a cohesive unit, which I mean is absolutely fantastic. What was your general thoughts on the 2-1 win?
Yeah, I agree. I think they responded fantastically. Away win, obviously that's great. And it was also a game that I think most fans had sort of already written off as a forthcoming thumping. So, it was really good. I thought the whole team played fantastically. It was a nervy opening 15, 20 minutes. But after the sort of the goal line triple block from Stevens, Ahmed, I just don't think it really looked like anything would get past our absolute brick wall at the back. And that obviously instilled a load of confidence in the team. And we got a really decent glimpse at some of the quality that we have in the team and what we can expect to see sort of throughout the rest of the season, hopefully.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought so too. I thought we defended pretty well, to be honest, throughout. And I mean, I don't think there's a single person who watched that game, whether they support Portsmouth or Reading, that hasn't come away with it thinking that Mashkar Ahmed is a real player. I I'd honestly say that's one of the most impressive individual performances I've seen for Reading in ages. Like I was so impressed with him.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's been loads of tweets and things. We've done loads of tweets on his stats. But I don't think he was dribbled past once. Well, in fact, I know he wasn't dribbled past once. He made 100% of his tackles. He obviously had that goal line clearance. But it also looked good going forward. He was instrumental in the first goal where he played through Kelvin, who may or may not have been offside. But yeah, I really, really want to see him come into the starting 11 this week because, man, I just thought he was awesome. And I'm sure you echo that.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like you said, I think the whole team played brilliant. But yeah, Ashkat Ahmed, obviously a standout for me. I thought he was unplayable, really. I thought Jack Stevens was great. Made some fantastic saves to keep the game at 0-0. And it's obviously great to see that we've clearly upgraded our number 2. Adds a little bit of competition for Joel. I mean, I'm sure we won't see him getting replaced anytime soon, but it's always good to have a decent backup. I thought Kelvin and Garcia, obviously both top finishers. The whole midfield did their job well. Probably went a bit under the radar, as well as John Ryan on the other at left back. I just think how well Ahmed played. He sort of obviously took all the plaudits, but I thought John Ryan was class as well. Even Kamara, I know he gets a lot of hate. He had a pretty decent game. I think for me though, and I'm sure you agree, that overall the 2 fullbacks were really the main standout. I know we've mentioned it before as well. That position isn't really locked down to any player, and I think they both put in one of the best performances I've seen in a while, and I'm sure Hunt will have a bit of a headache trying to pick who's going to start this weekend. I'm sure there'll be contenders. Yeah,
no, most definitely. But I do think as well, it's such a nice problem to have because for so long now we just have had the complete opposite. And we've had to shoehorn players into places. We've had to dig deep into the academy to get players in to fill spots. So to have a couple of players in each position that are trustworthy and clearly very good, it's actually it will be a massive positive for Reading.
Yeah, I think so many of those players that played some of their first matches, well, definitely. Yeah, none of them have really played too many matches, have they? So to see them just slot in and look so confident and so almost experienced at that level is just really refreshing to see.
Yeah, I agree. Now, I don't think you touched on him, but a player that, again, I'm spoiling all of the Wimbledon chat here, but a player that I would quite like to see a little bit more of in the Wimbledon game is Kamari Doyle. Again, I thought he was electric. I thought he played nicely with both feet. He looks keen to take set pieces, which will take a bit of heat off Lewis Wing if he doesn't want to take all of them. And he just looked like he was willing and able to just take the game to the opposition, which I think for ages, man, Reading have really needed players like that. It feels like for a while we've struggled to take players on and do so with confidence. But he seems like he's got confidence in abundance, and he's happy to go and do that and run at players, which is fantastic. And I think if this Reading team is to be successful this season, he is probably going to have quite a key role to play. And again, going back to our creativity point at the start of the show, he is probably a key figure in improving that. And it looks like he's going to be capable from what we saw against Portsmouth.
Yeah, I agree. I think soon enough, he's probably going to be one of the first names on the team sheet. He looked pretty well. He's versatile. He knows where the goal is. So close to getting his first goal as well against Portsmouth. It was a decent save. And then obviously Garcia finished it off. But yeah, he looks class. He looks like the kind of player that will win us games.
Yeah, I completely agree. So first season win covered at Portsmouth. We have AFC Wimbledon as a result of that game in the second round, but we also have AFC Wimbledon at home this Saturday. Obviously promoted last season, AFC Wimbledon, another London away day for us that we've not been to, either of us, so that's something to look forward to. But looking at this game specifically, have you identified anything from what you've seen of Wimbledon this season that you think might cause Reading issues, or anything that we could maybe exploit?
To be honest, I've not watched them enough. I don't think it will be an easy win. Obviously, they're newly promoted, so they are perhaps one of the weaker sides in the division. But they were pretty solid in their first game. I think it was an own goal which gave Luton the 3 points, so they probably deserved a draw. They beat Lincoln 2-0, albeit it was against 10 men, and then they went on to win on penalties in the cup earlier this week. So I just think they're going to be going into this fixture pretty confident and with a bit of momentum. So yeah, I don't think it'll be a pushover.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, to be honest, I don't really think pushovers exist in League One. I think everyone's particularly at the start of the season.
We found that out over the past few seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you're a Wimbledon fan, and I don't mean this with any disrespect at all, like you've got to be pretty buzzing with the start that they've made, with the only losing 1-0 to Luton, which, I mean, as a neutral, I was expecting them to get walked over there, really, and I imagine they were probably anticipating something similar. And then to beat Lincoln 2-0, albeit I know they had a man sent off early on, Lincoln, but I mean Lincoln beat us 2-0, so that's an improvement on our result. So yeah, I think Wimbledon fans will probably be quite happy with how they're
definitely season. Yeah. I mean, two wins and a performance which, like I said, arguably deserved a draw against one of the teams that is probably going to get automatic promotion. You probably can't ask much more for that from a team that's just been promoted. I mean, at the end of the day, they've got more points than us. So they've done more this season than we have. So yeah, it's not going to be easy. Yeah,
for sure. Similarly to you, I haven't done loads of research on Wimbledon over the years, but I've just had a quick look at who scored and their strengths and weaknesses. Looks like Wimbledon are like to attack a lot down the right-hand side. So that will be something to watch. They do like to play long balls, which, to be fair, I think we're quite well equipped to deal with Burns' height, and Stickland's pretty good in the air also.
I just want to know if they've got a rapid striker, then we're in trouble, or rapid wingers.
Yeah, I don't have that. I don't have that data, unfortunately. But they have a tendency to give away fouls in dangerous areas, which again I think is music to the ears of Reading fans. With us hopefully having Lewis Wing back. We haven't even spoke about that, but I
Mhm.
imagine he's back. Kamari Doyle also looks like he's capable of taking like free kicks from just outside the box and hopefully scoring them. And they make quite a few individual errors. So one to watch. It's something that I feel like we've been quite bad at so far this season. So will be quite interesting. Well, I guess if we don't really have too much in depth to talk about Wimbledon, we may as well just jump straight into your score prediction.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like Wing could be out. So I imagine we'll see Fraser start, maybe with Savage and Doyle. I'd like to see Danny Boy and Lane on the wings with Kelvin up top. I do think Hunt's going to stick with a Brafer, but the pressure's definitely on after Ahmed's performance against Pompey. So my prediction, I think, is this is a must-win for Reading, to be honest. So I think it's going to be a tough but much-needed 1-0 victory. Fingers crossed. I feel like you might not be as optimistic as usual, but we'll see.
You know what? Like, again, no disrespect for Wimbledon, but we have to be winning these games. We have to be beating the promoted sides at home if we're to get anywhere near where we predicted we'd be at the end of this season, which, I mean, I was slightly more pessimistic than you, but player form, you have to be winning these games at home. Like, if you're not, then you simply won't be up there. And I think we can do it. Like, I was so impressed on Tuesday and sort of so downbeat on Saturday because I was just thinking, oh, geez, like we haven't created anything, but it looked like there's massive fight there in that team. So that on its own will go a long way. And I do think from what I've read on the weaknesses of Wimbledon, we are quite well equipped to exploit their weaknesses. So I'm going to go 2-0 Reading. I think first victory of the season for the Royals. I'm feeling positive about this one. I think we'll get our first 3 points, and much needed, and hopefully we can score a couple of goals and get a bit of confidence in the forward players. And to be fair, I think Kelvin's probably not short of confidence. But I don't know. Maybe if we're a couple goals to the good, and Omani can come on, maybe bag one for himself to get his season off. I think that will do us a world of good. But yeah, I'm going 2-0 to Reading. Decent. I think it's the first win predicted this season for Reading. So
I think it is. It's the first result that's got more goals in than mine as well. So you hit the nail on the head last week. So hopefully it's the same again this week. But yeah, I agree with your point on Kelvin. I think we know he's a talented player and he's definitely got a point to prove this season. So hopefully we'll see him find the back of the net plenty more throughout.
Yeah. Absolutely, and like we know from what we've seen since he's been at Reading, he does have the quality. It's just if he can get the service, he's a great finisher and he can take players on too. So a really exciting player, and hopefully Wimbledon is another opportunity for him to really show that strength and get on the score sheet once again.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Then I think that brings us to a close for this week. It's going to be another lovely day down at the Select Car Leasing Stadium on Saturday. So if you're around, get yourself down there and back the boys. But until then, come on, you are.